Good afternoon, students. Thank you so much for coming in and meeting with us in person. This is now week 4, so we are now discussing client rights, counsel responsibilities, and confidentiality. So I know that sounds loaded, and in this week's assignment, we are doing a case conceptualization. And I wanted to, prior to starting to talk about the case conceptualization and the actual assignment, just check in with you all about what I'm hoping to achieve. And I'm hoping to sort of tie in the overall teaching philosophy of this course and my advantage, and what I'm hoping that you all achieve in completing this specific case conceptualization assignment this week. And so starting with that, I kind of wanted to share a little bit more about where I'm coming from with regards to the teaching philosophy here and now for this course. And so I generally come from a framework of that we are extensions of our experience. And within that paradigm, if we're not able to take the material that's presented to us in book format, presentation format, whatever format our curriculum is kind of established within, and if we're not able to take that information and apply it to our daily living or to our real life situation, any type of pragmatic application like that, if we cannot do that, if we are not able to do that, then we're losing value in the learning process. So my goal here is to be able to be mindful of the fact that we're direct extensions of our experience and know that we are learning through this paradigm. And when issues come up and we're engaged with those specific issues, oftentimes those specific problems that come up often create a learning experience. And so what I'm trying to do here in this specific week assignment is identify an issue through a case conceptualization so that we're able to pragmatically look at the said case conceptualization, the specific situation that's coming in front of us, and be able to evaluate it. This week's assignment is often offering a list of questions to sort of consider. And as we are considering these specific questions, we're also navigating the various avenues and exploring the problem a little bit more in detail. And the objective there, again, is so that you have this working hand knowledge of how to roadmap and sort of scaffold the trajectory to be able to manage a specific situation like this one presented in this week's case conceptualization. And my overall goal here is to be able to have you walk through this in like a safe, confined, case conceptualization assignment paper so that you can then apply the learnings to real life. So whether that's going to be in practicum or internship or your career thereafter, you may be running into these specific types of issues. And when you are, hopefully this type of assignment creates that confidence that you'll be able to walk through this, of course, with the help of supervisors or whoever you have around you at that portion of your life. Hopefully you have great mentors that you're able to bounce these ideas off of at that juncture to be able to really navigate this in a successful, coherent, cohesive manner. So looking at this week's assignment, I have posed you a case conceptualization regarding a woman named Raina. And Raina is engaged in couples counseling with you. That's kind of how the case conceptualization starts. Now, Raina is also going through a current divorce, and her husband no longer wants to participate in that couples counseling session. Now, here and now, there's also experiential gain. You will definitely see yourself in a couples counseling session where one of the partners do not feel like participating. That'll be in practicum, internship, and also in your career. So start thinking in this realm of, okay, this is something that I'm going to be seeing probably in the future. And then I'm going to pose these questions to you. This is all kind of detailed in the case conceptualization assignment itself. There's a subpoena involved. There's a record request involved. there's also a question answer portion of this. So I'm posing questions of, what should you do in this situation? Reflect on what your initial thoughts, assumptions, and feelings are regarding the case overall. And I would love for you to share if you feel like there's any type of stigma that maybe needs to be addressed, or if there's any specific type of abreaction that comes up for you. Maybe it's triggering in some way, shape, or form, especially if you or your family members or your loved ones have ever had this experience. Again, trying to tie this into a real life situation so that it resonates further, so that you can apply it and hold on to it for a long period of time. I would also like for you to look at the situation from Raina's perspective. So oftentimes when we're in this type of situation, it's always good to have the ability to shift framework and look at perspectives, just so we have a deeper understanding of what's actually going on. So getting into that routine might also tie it to a real life situation. The other question that I'm posing is emotional strife, and that's a general concept. So from this specific case conceptualization, is there anything coming up for you here and now as a student that you might see impacting your work as a clinician? And it's important to have this type of understanding so that we can look at what might be difficult with regards to acting ethically later on, or what type of specific boundaries we need to be more mindful of as we move forward. Again, learning objective is going to be to be able to apply this as we move forward into our counseling profession, into that paradigm. So that's, in a nutshell, what I'm asking for you all to participate with this case conceptualization. And I'm hoping that providing this specific case conceptualization will tie into a real life, real practical application situation. And I think that learning from the specific issues that might come up as we practice will cohesively create a framework or a foundation to be able to navigate as we move forward. As far as the way in which that you all can submit the assignment, I know that not everyone is going to be interested in creating a paper format to be able to answer all the questions. So I'm allowing for all of you to engage with this assignment the best way that you feel like it's going to work for you, so that you would have longevity with regards to the material presented, and just so that you feel like you're interacting with it and it's resonating the way that you see it best resonating for you, I guess. So in that said, if you want to create a PowerPoint presentation, you're welcome to do so. If you want to be creative and make a skit and record it and submit it via video, by all means, I would love that. If you wanted to act out or have, a friend act as Raina, and you want to do a mock counseling session and record that and submit it, or even if this is in class. So even if you wanted to act this out in class for the students to be able to witness this, you're more than welcome to do that as well. For those of you that just want to stick to the paper format, that's more than welcomed as well. So pretty much, and if I miss any specific type of way that you want to respond to these questions, feel free and email me, and or meet with me after class, and I'd be happy to walk with you and talk to you about what specifically you would like to do to address these questions, or how it would make most sense to you. And that is pretty much everything I wanted to deliver in a instructional demonstration. So as far as what did I do to demonstrate, or how did my teaching method reflect key aspects of my philosophy? That's the question. So I think what I did was I looked at a case conceptualization that was offered, and I broke it down into a sequential order of 5 specific questions, and each question, to a varying degree, is asking for the student to tie it closer to something that's more realistic. And I'm hoping that meets the criteria for constructive vantage. and in applying the learning objectives to the student's life in a real way so that it's pragmatic and applicable moving forward. In addition to that, I think there was a portion of this was experiential, in that we're looking at the problem of a situation and thinking about how to apply learnings from that specific problem to our lives for the long run. And I'm hoping that in our students being able to integrate and like apply the varying questions of the case conceptualization to the teaching philosophy, and then when they submit it to me for grading, in that transfer, they're able to apply all of that information to the future situation that comes up. Because there was a statistic that I read that majority of students are going to interact with getting a subpoena. They're going to interact with, a dicey family session where one of the partners does not want to integrate or be involved, how to navigate that whole process. And then also being able to navigate like the ab reaction that we're having, because we all have them, when one of the partners is not willing to like comply or participate or any of those types of situations. So I'm hoping that the learning objective was met by fusing like a constructivist and experiential in tandem. I know I didn't mention experiential in the first 10 minutes, but like I think it was a suggestive as opposed to an actual like theory that I was applying to this. And I think that is everything that I wanted to cover. And then as far as the diverse learning styles, I feel like I offered, people can submit their paperwork via paper essay format, via acting out in a role play situation, recording a situation, and submitting it, being creative, and then leaving the door open at the end to basically have that conversation. And if there's something else that I overlooked that they wanted to do, hopefully that meets the diverse learning style or helps them to be able to deliver the information, absorb it in a way that's meaningful for them. And I think a lot of that has to do with ownership. This is tangential, I guess, I don't know. But I think it's important that if the student is owning it and making it what they want it to be, there's a lot of learning that can happen there too. And it might stay for a longer period of time. Because that was my understanding of experiential, in that if you absorb it and make it your own and you understand a specific type of problem, and you understand the issues that arise from that specific problem, and then you work around that to come up with the solution, therein lies the fruit of the learning. So I'm hoping that that all meets. And I think that's everything I wanted to do for this video. I hope this meets. Thank you for your time. Oh, bye.